signs of global terror, and now the government is compensating family members of some victims. About 2,300 people are eligible to receive money from the U.S. Victims of State-Sponsored Terrorism Fund. Those checks to be mailed out in the coming weeks, with payments ranging between $100,000 and $2 million. Joining me now to share their stories, Edith Bartley, whose father and brother were killed when the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi was bombed by Al-Qaeda in 1998. Kathy Votaw, her father, died in the U.S. Embassy bombing in Beirut back in 1983. And Stuart Neuberger is here as well. He's an attorney representing hundreds of families eligible for federal compensation. I'm so happy to have all of you. Edith, I want to start with you. I imagine this is a bittersweet moment. Has this dredged up a flood of emotions for you?
We're just so appreciative to Congress, to the Department of Justice, to so many congressional staff that worked on this legislation, particularly Chairman Goodlatte and Chairman Grassley of the House and Senate Judiciary Committee, respectively, and their ranking members, Senator Schumer and Senator Conyers. For the last almost 19 years now, I personally advocated and served as a personal spokesperson for the American families of the 1998 embassy bombing in Kenya. And it is bittersweet. Our families were often forgotten over the years, but particularly this legislation that Paula Moran took a lead on making happen, as well as another new benefits that I personally got into the same appropriation bill for our families and for CIA families, is outstanding. And our country should be proud to take care of our own and to take care of families of Americans who are serving their country abroad in often very dangerous places across the globe at our embassies without any type of armor or weapons like our military.
And Kathy, how will this compensation help you financially? I mean, you were 27 when your father was killed. You had just gotten married the year before. How will this help you?
Well, I've had a long career in public service. I was 35 years as a federal prosecutor, and now I work for the State Department Inspector General. And it actually comes at a really good time for me personally, because it will allow me to figure out what I want to do in retirement, when I want to retire, and it will let me help my kids with their student loans and my grandkids, get things they need, that kind of thing. It's very welcome at this moment. But more important than the financial benefit to me is the recognition that my dad's death was meaningful.
Of course, absolutely. And Edith, you've been fighting for that very recognition, as well as the compensation, as you mentioned, for 18 plus years. And now that the money is being sent out this week, that I know you're grateful and you thank Congress right off the top of this segment. Does this feel like a victory?
It feels, I think as Kathy greatly articulated it, a great recognition. We want to ensure that our family members are not forgotten. The bombing in Kenya in particular was the precursor to 9/11. Most Americans forget about that. It was half along the way, but it was simultaneous bombings, Kenya and Tanzania. And what Americans should be so proud of is that this legislation and the other benefits that I personally took a lead on getting into law are going to help so many people dating back retroactively to 1983, families who've been forgotten. And so it's really about remembering our history, not forgetting those who have served, because we are living in these times where things like this will happen again.
Mr. Neuberger, I want to bring you in now. How have you been helping these families along the way?
Well, thank you. Well, both Edith and Kathy and their families have been clients of my firm for some time, along with hundreds of other people who were employed at U.S. embassies around the world. As a person who used to work in the U.S. government as a U.S. attorney and represented the State Department and others, I took a particular interest in trying to help folks who've been killed and injured and their families in attacks on U.S. embassies. For the last 20 years, Congress has allowed Americans and those who work for the U.S. government to sue countries that are state sponsors of terrorism, such as Iran, Libya, Sudan, and others. And the legislation, which was a bipartisan bill, I think we're very proud of, was enacted to allow those who had gone to court, gotten judgments against countries like Iran, but had never been able to get collection on them. This now allows them to get some small measure of justice and compensation. And as both Kathy and Edith said, recognition for fallen Americans who've fallen in the line of duty.
Well, Mr. Newberger, we leave it there. Edith Bartley, Kathy Vota, we wish you well, and we thank you, your family, for your sacrifice and your service to this great country. Thank you very much.
Thank you for covering.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely so important. It will not be forgotten. Well, a pro-Trump rally spirals out of control. The president's supporters clash with protesters. This is the protest for and against the president. They vow to continue to take to the streets. We'll have the latest on this weekend straight ahead for the next 2 hours as our coverage continues here on the Fox News Channel.
Energy is amazing. How we use it is only limited by our imagination. And at Southern Company, we're building the future of energy. For you.
My bladder wake me up from my sweet dreams thanks to Tenor Not Tonight. Only Tenor overnight underwear with its secure barrier system gives you triple protection from leaks, odor and moisture. Tenor lets you be you.
When did mixing food with not food become food? Thankfully, at Panera, 100% of our food is 100% clean. No artificial preservatives, sweeteners, flavors, or colors. Panera, food as it should be.
We're out of here. Big lineup. New Gingrich, Austin Goolsby, Charles Krauthammer, Jesse Waters, all on the Next Factor.
Don't miss the O'Reilly Factor.
Excuse me. What do you think you'd pay for the smartphone?
A few hundred.
That's top of the line. More like 425. More like $9.
That's not possible.
It is on DealDash.com. See, DealDash.com is the fair and honest bidding site. This top of the line laptop went for around $40.
That can't be.
I know. Everyone says it's too good to be true.
But it's true. DealDash.com gets people real savings every day. Big savings. And if you're not satisfied, you get your money back. On DealDash.com, professional cameras sell for as low as $15. $50 gift cards go for $20. Laptops can be had for less than $10. And shipping is always free. It's perfect for gifts or just everyday necessities. Visit DealDash.com today and start bidding.
Is this from Deal Dash?
Uh-huh.
How much?
You don't want to know.
DealDash.com. See how much you can save.
I was on heroin. It was oxys for me.
I used crack cocaine.
Every hour, 13 people die from drug or alcohol use. Don't kid yourself. Addiction is an epidemic. We all know what happens if we don't deal with addiction. Someone dies, or even worse, hurt others. Addiction is a disease. We're the Addiction Network. And if you've been trying to quit your addiction to drugs or alcohol without any luck, then you need to call the number on your screen now. We'll connect you with someone who's been where you've been. You can't beat addiction on your own. So make the call now. The call is free, the consultation is free, and the referral is free. If you have private insurance, your treatment could be covered with no out-of-pocket cost. So call the Addiction Network now. Get the help you need.
I wish my family had insurance. I could have got the best help available.
A pro-Trump rally turns violent in Berkeley, California.